with a cup, a measuring cup. That's 1 cup of sugar. Then we'll beat it till it's nice and fluffy for 10 minutes. Okay, so we're going to beat our batter till it's nice and fluffy and it doubles in size. I'm sure we can see the difference. Our batter has doubled in size, so we call it cake batter. When we are done with this process, we are going to add in our eggs. So we are going to add in 4 eggs, 2 at a time. So we did that till our yolk disappears. We are going to add in 2 more eggs. So when we add in our eggs, we make sure we do not overbeat it. Remember, an overbeaten cakes give us After this process, we are going to add in our 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence. Okay, so we are done dealing with our wet ingredient with our dry ingredients, which is our flour and our baking powder. Okay, so for this recipe we will need 2 cups of flour. We can use all-purpose flour or cake flour. Then we are going to add in our corn flour. This is 1 tablespoon of corn flour. Then we will add in our 2 teaspoons of baking powder. We are going to sieve that together just to get rid of our unnecessary particles. Okay, so our dry ingredients are done. Now we are going to go back to our wet ingredients. So we are going to mix in our dry ingredients to our wet ingredients. When you are doing this process, you have to make sure you apply the one direction rule, where you can only put in or fold in your flour on one direction. So you can use a fist, you can use a cup to put in your flour. Then we're going to fold it on one side. When you are doing this process, please ensure that you stick to one direction. Even when you're using the folding method, you need to make sure you're folding everything on one side. This is one of the most important rules when you're baking. Okay, so this is why we stick to our one direction rule. We do that just to avoid bubbles in our cakes, just to keep our moisture within the cake. Nobody wants to have a dry cake. Okay, so when we are done putting in our wet ingredients to our dry ingredients, we are going to add in our lemon. This is 1 tablespoon of lemon. Okay, when we are done with this process, we can add in our 1 cup of sour milk. So you continue to mix on one direction. Make sure your cake doesn't have any bubbles. Make sure you maintain the texture of the cake. Then we are going to add in our blueberries. So we can add in 1 cup of blueberry, 2 cups of blueberries, depending on how much you want to taste your blueberries. In this case, I was using half a cup of blueberries. Okay, so now we are going to butter our tin. What do I mean? Cut. Okay, so we are now going to butter our tins. So for our tins, we are using a 6-inch tin. We are going to add in our butter and just evenly spread it. Okay, when we are done buttering our tins, we are going to add in our flour and just spread it. Okay, so we are going to put in our cake batter. Putting in our cake batter, we can just hit our pan against our surface just for it to evenly spread out. Okay, so we are going to bake this. My bracelet has showed. We are going to bake our cake at 150 degrees for 25 minutes. Okay, so this is how our blueberry cake looks like. This is how it came out. Very nice and fluffy. Very, very fluffy.